Welcome back. Hundreds of Ethiopians in the Oromia region have been calling for action to stop the frequent outbreaks of violence in that part of the country. 30 people have been killed over the past 2 months and tens of thousands displaced in the Benishangul Gumuz region, close to the borders with Sudan and South Sudan. 17 members of the state police force have also been killed. The federal and regional governments say the violence is being fueled by people opposed to the political and economic reforms introduced by Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Confidence is building in the international community towards the Democratic Republic of Congo as the United States Embassy reopens today in the capital, Kinshasa. According to a tweet by the embassy, the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa works closely with the government of the DRC to respond to a terrorist threat against government facilities. The embassy opens a week after the DRC accused Washington of sparking needless fear after the U.S. Embassy warned of a possible terrorist threat against its mission in the country as it heads towards key elections. The conflict-prone Central African country heads to the polls on December 23rd to elect a successor to longtime President Joseph Kabila. The embassy on Saturday cited credible and specific information of a possible terrorist threat against U.S. government facilities, which were closed on Monday. The United Nations Women's Regional Director, Dr. Izedua Derex-Briggs, has debunked the belief that women campaigners for gender equality are making a mountain out of a molehill on the issue. Dr. Derex-Briggs is of the view that supporters of this belief are doing so out of ignorance, as gender equality is the basis for everything. She spoke with our Foreign Affairs correspondent, Amarachi Ubani, on the sidelines of a regional consultation dialogue on ending child marriage and female genital mutilation in Africa, holding in Lagos.
Gender inequality is the reason why we have the difference in pay gaps, is the reason why we have power and authority lording over women. It's the reason why women are sexually harassed before they get promotion. It's the reason why, gender equality is the basis for everything. It's the reason why you go to a hospital, a woman gives birth to a boy, they say, oh, full current. The woman gives birth to a girl, they say half current. So even from birth, that child is already told she's half current. Imagine that child growing up. So gender inequality is the basis of everything. So if people are saying it's a small part, it's the whole part. If we're able to reach equality, we won't be speaking, we'll be out of jobs, some of us.
Over in Egypt, hundreds of women raced in the capital, Cairo, to campaign for an end to violence against women. It's the first event of its kind as women are challenging the conservative social norms to compete on an 8-kilometer course in the neighborhood of Heliopolis.
Hundreds of women took part in a race in the Egyptian capital, Cairo, to campaign for an end to violence against women and push for acceptance of women running in public spaces. In the first event of its kind, women challenging conservative social norms took advantage of reduced weekend traffic to compete on an 8-kilometer course in the neighborhood of Heliopolis.
Today, the event was very organized. As we ran, everyone was supporting us. Everyone wanted us to run. Everyone wanted us to do what we want. Everyone is trying to help us more, to help prove that the woman has her own place in society.
Experts surveyed by the Thomson Reuters Foundation last year ranked Cairo as the world's most dangerous megacity for women, based on a lack of protection from sexual violence and harmful cultural practices, as well as access to healthcare and finance. But participant Osum Mamdou says she is seeing a change of attitudes.
So it's my first time, Hannah?
It's my first time here. I'm honestly very happy, and I hope that we did a good job. I also hope we can do more work with Cairo runners and take to the streets with them again.
It is uncommon for women to practice sport in Egypt in public places where they regularly face harassment.
Congolese artist Yakima is using spoken word poetry to express himself and raise awareness on issues ranging from politics to socio-economic developments affecting his country. At a recent show in the Congolese capital, Kinshasa, Yakima was in full form chanting Ali Bomaye, a reference to the historic 1974 boxing match between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, which took place in the city. The fight attracted some of the world's most prominent journalists and celebrities to a country known by most Westerners only for its periodic bouts of instability.
He may be performing about the years under former Congolese dictator Mobutu Sese Seko, but slam artist Yakima believes his poetry has an important message for his country today: not to idolize men in power. Rated as one of the top slam artists in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Yakima has managed to build a sizable followership, mainly thanks to social media.
With my style, Afro Slam, I'm a witness to what happens within society. I write what I see happening in society, whether good or bad. I observe the society around me. I'm a curious observer of a society that is close to me.
Poetry slams, competitive events where performances are rated by the audience, developed in Chicago in the mid-1980s. They have since spread globally, with slams taking place in Ivory Coast, Madagascar, Singapore, and the DRC. Yakima's most famous slam, titled Desire Years, takes a look at the Central African nation, formerly known as Zaire, during the rule of military leader Seko. He says it's important for current regimes to remember the past and avoid a repetition in the future.
People have told me that my song is a eulogy to Mobutu, that it praises Mobutu, but I say that one can be detached when remembering and talking about those years back when the country was Zaire. I talk about the cult of idolizing men in power, which is something that is still happening. I talk about flattery, flattering the current regime, and so not talking about how things really are.
Yakima, who first started experimenting with poetry slams in 2008, says the form of artistic expression is deeply personal to him. He incorporated it in a choir he was a part of, and which he still visits today.
That's it on the program today. Thanks for watching. I'm Teniola Shobowale.